Hello, my name is Linda Blough, and I am married to Tom Blough. We live in Franklin, Tennessee, and I have been married to Tom since 1992, and we have been attending Brentwood Baptist here. And before that, I attended Brentwood Baptist starting back all the way to 1971. No, I started attending Brentwood Baptist when we were at the children's home. So we made the transition from the children's home to the Franklin Road campus and now to this campus. So it has been a long journey. It's been an exciting one. I feel very proud to be almost charter member and to watch it grow into what it is today. I remember the Sunday school classrooms being very cold, and I remember Bill Wilson preaching and Creeley playing the piano, small services, and just very intimate at the time. Yeah. I don't remember. I remember Creeley having on the choir robes and that kind of thing to play piano. I remember us coming over and stacking the chairs or unstacking the chairs. A lot of time that term gets, it's not used very much, but we unstacked the chairs too and got it ready for worship or prayer meeting or whatever. Man, there is a lot of times in the gym. We had worship service there. We had prayer meeting there. We had silent Lord's Supper there on Christmas Eve. We had Wednesday night dinners there. And I guess for me, one of the fun things was roller skating in the gym. I imagine that there's not too many of us that can say that, and I'm proud. So, Brentwood Baptist has been my life for 48 years, whatever. Yeah. And these people are my family. They've been my family since the get-go. And I know that they have been there for me from beginning to today. And that's a little piece of heaven, I think. Sure. I don't think we did. I think we kept the intimacy, but I think you had to work for it a little bit. That's just the nature of a bigger church. I personally still have a lot of intimate friends here at church, and even though I'm at one of the smaller campuses, I still have a lot of contact here. And when I walk through those doors every time, I still feel welcome. I do think the heart is still here between Mama Church and all the baby churches. I like to use that term because we're all growing and we're all maturing. And I feel that my home church now, Station Hill, is beyond exceptional. They are great at shepherding. They are great at nurturing. They are great at encouraging and lifting you up when you need to be lifted up. Well, let me just say this. When we moved to Brentwood in 1970, the very end of 1970, there were 3 houses on our street in Brentwood. So you take that picture in 1970 and you look at it today, that is tremendous growth. And the church has been very involved in going with that growth and maintaining the intimacy and maintaining the nurturing and the shepherding. So again, I'm proud. I'm proud to be a part of Brentwood Baptist. I'm proud to be one of the older members from way back when. Well, I think you definitely said something there. I think the Bill Wilson and Mike Glenn both, their commitment to this church, the commitment, when I say church, I mean the people, not the building, and their heart and soul are put into taking care of us and helping us grow. I think that's very evident. The small group, I think, is key to a larger campus, a larger entity of this campus and the others. I think we all need that to be involved, to be there for other people when they need us, and vice versa when I need them. So yeah, small group is definitely key to this church.
As it has enjoyed growth?
I believe it will. Yes, I do. I think it will grow tremendously in the next few years, and just looking at our goals. And I think a majority of us are committed to making those goals work. And Jim, you did mention one thing, is missions. Missions is so key to my life, and I never thought that missions would be. But it's very important to take those short-term mission trips, to see other parts of the world, and to be able to not only share the love of Christ with those people, but for them to share with me. I definitely get more out of it than what they do. And then the team members that you go on mission trip with, they are your forever friend. Well, church at the children's home, we sat in folding chairs. Again, those were cold. Bill Wilson had his suit on and his tie, and he stood behind the pulpit. There you go. What a change from today, huh? The transition from the children's home to our campus and to the gym was super, super exciting. Again, I was young and I hung around like the Adahotes and the Jamesons and the Creeley girls and all that. The Wilson girls. And I remember when we put the cornerstone in the church at the down there on 409. And I remember specifically where I was standing. And that was exciting times for just the confirmation of the whole church. I was also here when we transitioned from 409 Franklin Road to 77 Concord Road. Concord Road. And I remember that first Sunday as well, because I was an usher standing in the middle of the aisle, making sure everyone had a seat and greeting them and making them feel welcome. Well, obviously Mike knew Bill Wilson from Bill Wilson's son, and we all know that story. And I think one of the big differences is that Brother Bill used the pulpit, Mike doesn't. Mike is definitely more animated than Brother Bill. But Brother Bill was, of course you got to remember, our church was smaller, so he was very intimate with his congregation. He knew every single person and their needs, and maybe I'm a little biased, but he was really good friends with my dad, and so that was an extra little bonus for me. Mike is amazing. I have yet to have heard a negative comment about his preaching or about his presentation, and he's the real thing too. So I think we're blessed to be a church of 50 years old and only 2 pastors. That's unusual, and that says a lot for this church. Bill Wilson Jr. and Mike Glenn went to seminary together, I believe, yes. And that's how they became friends. And for some reason, when we had the search committee, Mike Glenn's name came up, and it was a natural fit. And one thing that I really appreciated about Mike Glenn is that he never put Bill Wilson to the side. He always involved Brother Bill. He always brought Bill to the attention of the church that Brother Bill was a mentor to Mike Glenn. And I think that's fascinating. That's something that a lot of churches do not have. When I came to Brentwood, I was very young, let me just say that, and I was a brand new Christian, so young in age and young in Christ-like. And over the years being a youth here at Brentwood Baptist with Gary Gibson, I don't know if anybody's ever mentioned him, but he was instrumental in my growth and very encouraging to me. And as I got older and older and older, I feel like I've just really grown. And over the past couple years, with some very difficult situations in my life, with losing my daughter and my granddaughter, and now my mom, I feel like my faith has deepened tremendously, and I will not falter through that because I know my faith is strong.